thing that drew me into capoeira to begin with was pretty much the fact that I thought it was cool. I mean, I always saw it like on TV and video games, stuff like that.
Capoeira is a martial art from Brazil from about 500 years ago or so. And it was disguised as a dance because back in the times, slaves were forbidden to train because the slave masters feared that the slaves would then learn how to fight and that would turn into a revolt.
The Batizado, it's Portuguese for baptism, and it is our once-a-year giant promotion ceremony where everybody gets their new belts, which we call cordal. Everybody needs their time to shine, to you know, feel special. There's a lot of emphasis on it. You know, if it only comes once a week, it's you either come or you don't. You graduate or you don't.
It's kind of funny how I met Raul. It was just kind of met him in the breakfast line in school. He was like, "Oh yeah, you do martial arts, right?" And we went to the park and we did this whole martial arts thing, and I learned a little bit about capoeira and whatnot.
Down here in South Jersey, there was no place to train it. So I made for myself, I made some connections just to get a class started here where I live. Capoeira, it's so fun and it's so free. It's so exhilarating. It's such a great martial art. You know, you can come in and you can be feeling one way, and just after one class, you can feel totally different. It's just so freestyle, which I like.
I found a couple capoeira teachers that were willing to come to the area to teach us and whatnot. So I was like, cool, like whatever you got to do. And he was like, well, do you think we'd be able to use your school or whatnot? And I was just starting out teaching here. I wasn't the head guy yet or anything. And I was kind of like, you'd have to ask my teacher and whatnot, but he's a cool guy. He'd be more than willing to listen to what you got and whatnot.
I called Gravetto, and the way it started was I called him and I asked him if he could come down to this academy to do a seminar because you know I luckily had connections. One of my best friends works here.
And then from there, we kind of started doing classes. Gravetto would come up, he'd teach us on the weekends and whatnot. Saturday mornings, 12 o'clock, every Saturday. $15 a class, I remember. I won't ever forget it. And it was cool, and we started off with those classes and everything.
The fact that we could only do it Saturday mornings sometimes didn't go as smoothly as we needed. Since they were coming from so far away, sometimes they would be 45 minutes to an hour late for class. Our longest instructor that we had for about a solid year until he kind of just he couldn't really make the drive out anymore. And that's kind of when Gravetto gave us our blessing to continue the class running it ourselves at that point.
I'd seen it coming because he wasn't coming and G was probably getting annoyed with it and I was getting annoyed with it. So I was just like, man, I understand, but I don't think I'm ready for it.
Now, you should aim it at the shoulder leg. I'm not trying to be here. This is all good.
My teacher was essentially is the owner of the school. And he was just like, so capoeira, how many students are there right now? I'd be like, 5 or so. He's like, how many are you paying? I'm like, 2. And I was just like, man, I mean, I don't know what I let you guys train for. Use the power and everything. I mean, there's no students to keep it running. And then, like that was kind of like a wave. I was like, oh crap, we gotta get students. I mean, you don't have students, you don't have a class. You don't have a class, why be here? And it made sense to me. I mean, if I didn't have karate students on my floor, I'd be out of a job. So I mean, it was kind of like the same thing. It's like, oh, if I want to keep this capo group going, we got to get students. I mean, we've done flyers, we do demos and everything.
Capoeira is a community, and events are a way for us to connect with the public and promote the culture of capoeira.
When we have our Batizado coming up, we put together a show dealing with Makwele. Makwele is it's a traditional sugarcane harvest dance that is traditionally it was done in with machetes, but that's pretty dangerous. So so we use sticks, and it uses a different rhythm than the capoeira game, but it's kind of played the same. Everything's freestyle.
Once a year, we gather for the Batizado. Instructors from all over the country and the world come to train.
Yeah, you got it? Listen, where's your left? Bob, make sure one is down sure. Right?
Students must train their hardest because graduation isn't guaranteed.
Come on, boy. Come on, you can do it. Come on. 2, 3, 4.
For Rob and Ryan, this rare opportunity may not come again for many years. Succeeding will bring them one step closer to the pinnacle of their capoeira careers.
Mosquito!
Capoeira, your group is kind of like your family, and that's one of the things that I definitely really like about capoeira is like having a family to come to every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, whenever we have class. It's kind of cool. You step through the doors and you have your friends there.
See, I got 2 hookers. Gotta play it off. When you're 4, then you're gonna be like, I'm practicing.
the Batizado, when you're going for your first cordel, the instructors that you're playing against, they're trying to take you down because they want you to fall. You know, so you can come back up a stronger person.
So when am I gonna go for my next chord? When G calls my name on stage. That's how I'm gonna know. Capoeira has taught me a lot. I really think that when Gravetto handed me the Pittman group, it really kind of accelerated my growth towards becoming a school manager, a chief instructor, eventually a school owner. Because I've only ever had one perspective before, and that was my teachers. And now I have perspective from him. And it's just taught me so much about teaching, interacting with students, so much of the things like that.
But for me, it's my life. You know, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, weekends, it's always up here. It's always, you know, you're always a capoeirista, right? Even if you train for a month or you train for 20, 40 years, man, you're a capoeirista, in my opinion.